In a world where superheroes save lives every day, the most life-changing moment can still come from something as simple as a heartbeat. The story begins not in a battle or a lab, but in a quiet room where Sue Storm discovers something she never thought possible. She's pregnant. She and Reed Richards, partners in science, marriage, and heroism, had long believed that a child wasn't in their future. So when this miracle arrives, it brings overwhelming joy and hidden fears. Reed, the brilliant but emotionally guarded leader of the Fantastic Four, is haunted by one question. What if our child inherits our powers? What kind of life would he have? For all their fame and success, Reed knows better than anyone that having powers isn't always a gift. Sometimes it's a curse. To understand that fear, we must go back 4 years. Back then, Reed, Sue's impulsive brother Johnny, and Reed's loyal best friend Ben Grimm set out on a space mission, a dream built on years of scientific research. But that dream turned into a cosmic nightmare. Their ship collided with a storm of pure energy that changed their DNA, their bodies, and their destinies. Ben became the Thing, a man of stone with unmatched strength and a broken heart hidden beneath that rocky shell. Johnny became the Human Torch, bursting into flames at will, brash and reckless, but with a deep sense of justice. Reed gained elasticity, able to stretch and morph his body in impossible ways. And Sue became the Invisible Woman, not just able to vanish, but to conjure force fields, defend others, and lead with grace. Together, they became Earth's first family of heroes, the Fantastic Four. In the years that followed, they became icons, not just for their powers, but for their heart. Reed used science to solve world crises. Sue formed fragile alliances with enemies, like Mole Man, a leader of the underground, to secure peace. Johnny and Ben protected cities, rescued civilians, and made the world believe in hope again. So, when the world found out Sue was expecting a child, they celebrated. After all, what could be more wonderful than the child of 2 heroes? But then, a visitor arrived from the stars. A shimmering silver figure descended on Times Square. She introduced herself without fear, the Silver Surfer. Her words were chilling. Galactus is coming. He will consume your planet. The surfer's warning wasn't a riddle, it was a countdown to extinction. Reed's research confirmed the worst. Entire planets had vanished in the blink of an eye, and the Silver Surfer was present at every single one. As panic built, Johnny tried to confront her. She was fast, impossibly fast, but before disappearing, she whispered something to him in an alien language. Reed's teleportation experiments grew more desperate. He was trying to send objects across space, perhaps one day to save his family. But the more energy it took, the more it drained the planet. And then Galactus arrived. But not as a raging monster at first. Instead, he sent the surfer with an offer. Give me your child, and I will spare your world. That's when the story shifted from science fiction to a heartbreaking moral war. Reed and Sue refused. Their baby, who they named Franklin, was born among the stars as Reed and Johnny battled Galactus just to buy time. That baby was no ordinary child, born of cosmic parents, born at the center of a galactic war. Galactus didn't forget the rejection. He returned. This time, he gave Earth an ultimatum: give him Franklin or be destroyed. The world turned against the Fantastic Four. Why should billions die for one child? Protesters surrounded their home. Politicians demanded they comply. Reed, normally the one with all the answers, stood helpless, and Sue, calm but fierce, delivered the line that changed everything. I will not sacrifice my child for this planet, and I will not sacrifice this planet for my child. We'll fight. The only plan left was a desperate one: teleport Earth away from Galactus. But to do that, they needed towers, massive teleportation devices, and energy from the entire planet. Lockdowns were issued. People hid underground in Mole Man's caverns. The world held its breath. But Galactus was always watching. Before the teleportation could begin, Silver Surfer destroyed the towers. She was no longer just a messenger. She had become an agent of despair. But Johnny discovered her truth. Her real name was Shalabal. She had once been a brilliant scientist, just like Reed, who gave herself to Galactus to save her people. Now she was a ghost, bound to Galactus by regret and guilt. Reed formed one final plan. They would lure Galactus into the teleportation zone and beam him into a dimension he could never escape. But to bait him, they had to risk everything. Sue volunteered to use Franklin as bait. It broke Reed's heart, but there were no other options. Galactus arrived, immense and terrifying. He chased the baby through Manhattan, destroying everything in his path. Ben was hurled into orbit. Sue's car exploded. Reed was crushed beneath debris. Galactus reached Franklin. Sue, though wounded, stood between them and unleashed all her power to hold Galactus in place. She screamed, "Save my baby!" She had nothing left, but she didn't stop. And just when it seemed all was lost, Shalabal returned. She made the ultimate choice. She took Johnny's place in the teleportation beam and pushed Galactus into exile. In doing so, she freed herself and saved Earth. But it wasn't over. Sue collapsed. Her heart had stopped. Reed performed CPR, sobbing, pleading, but it didn't work. Franklin began to cry. Reed placed the baby on her chest, and something extraordinary happened. Franklin's latent powers awakened. He didn't just cry, he glowed. He didn't just feel, he healed. Sue gasped. Her eyes opened. Their baby, the one born under cosmic storms and raised through sacrifice, had brought his mother back to life. And in that moment, they all realized this wasn't the end. It was only the beginning. The Fantastic Four stood together, broken, scarred, but whole. A family undefeated. But in the shadows of the future, Dr. Doom watches, and he's waiting.